Hi, alright, week 12. The movie Her is able to communicate its message clearly because of the cinematography techniques that it utilizes. This includes things like lighting and color schemes. For example, the happy memories of Theodore's marriage are bright and overexposed, with a lot of natural light and sunlight as a major light source, with also a lot of with white being a predominant color. So these are obviously meant to be very happy scenes. Loneliness and sadness are portrayed by the nighttime scenes, which are of course very dark. Okay. The lighting is soft when Theodore first meets Samantha in his apartment. The next scene after that is very bright and it expresses his happiness yet again. Later in the film, the scene with Theodore smiling, running, and laughing is also very brightly lit and has happy light music playing. It transitions into a peaceful beach scene where he falls asleep, and it's really bright. Obviously, I mean, it's the beach. The sun is like shining down on him, reflecting off the sand and everything. Right. Reds and pinks are often used to, I would guess, represent intimacy, which definitely relates to the major theme of the film that deals with relationships and emotion toward others. Theodore has trouble expressing his emotions and dealing with real relationships, and throughout the film, technology acts as a medium to make relationships less intimate and more controlled. The glasses Theodore wears add to this portrayal of a barrier between him and others. Freedom is another major theme. The documentary was intended to show that humans feel most free when they sleep, and Theodore initially cannot sleep at all and frequently feels lonely. He misses his ex-wife and dreams of her and regrets losing her. However, he falls asleep on the beach when he's finally happy again with Samantha. Characters tend to refer to relationships being potentially liberating, so there's freedom again. Alright. Give me a few seconds. Okay. Theodore is frequently depressed, and at one point he literally tells his electronic device to, quote, play a melancholy song, end quote, which contributes to the portrayal of this mood. Close-ups of characters' faces are used to emphasize intimate moments. A sense of panic later on is created by the OS not found error message, the loud beeping, and Theodore's reaction to all of this, which was very furrowed brow and some sweating and a great deal of frantic running. There are a lot of scenes in which Theodore looks like he's talking, which obviously we know he's talking to the earpiece where Samantha is, which gives the audience the perception that Samantha is actually there with him. Theodore's friend Amy, I think her name was, talks directly to the device that he holds with a camera in it, as if Samantha's actually there. Music is playing over these scenes because the words aren't important. The effect given is that Samantha is real. So this is just another cinematography technique, I guess. A lot of imagery and symbolism is also utilized by the cinematographer. A sculpture in the background depicts naked humans and trees, very abstractly, of course, and images of trees are projected onto the walls of the elevator. These images represent nature, but their placement is ironic because technology is kind of its opposite, and it seems to be creating distance instead. Theodore's helplessness is portrayed by a screen with a lifelike owl which seems to grab him like prey. When Theodore is confused and depressed, he goes for a walk in thick snow and stares at a broken tree, which seems to represent his view of himself. So yeah, a lot of symbolism in nature and stuff. Anyway, in this film, Theodore's job uses technology to create and send personal handwritten letters back and forth between people who, yes, they care about each other, but they're not writing their own letters, and therefore those relationships and those conversations are not really legitimate. This is one example of technology subverting human relationships. Alright. Internet porn and earpiece sex take the place of real relationships, for Theodore in the beginning at least. Theodore is lonely and tries to connect through technology, but saying, quote, "I'm in bed with you," end quote, even though he is not physically there, is ultimately just pretending. So I guess that's another example. The artificially intelligent operating system is described as an intuitive entity that listens to you, understands you, and knows you. Samantha is incredibly lifelike, possessing the ability to grow through her experiences. She is relatable for Theodore. She laughs at his jokes, and she can tell when he's bothered. They bond over their fears about their emotions, with Samantha wondering if her emotions are real or just programming, and Theodore just generally being afraid of his emotions and confused by them. Later in the film, Samantha seems to understand real emotion, saying that, quote, "The heart is not like a box that gets filled up, it expands in size the more you love," end quote. Theodore is accused by his ex-wife of wanting a fake relationship and pretending Samantha is a person, which seems to subvert or undermine human relationships with real people because they can be simulated by technology. When pondering whether the relationship is real, though, Theodore's friend tells him, "I don't know, I'm not in it." So technology is definitely subverting human relationships here, because this relationship is shown to have the potential to be as real as they are, as real as human relationships are. And her saying, "I don't know, I'm not in it," kind of adds to that, because it allows that possibility to be as real as them. I don't know if that made sense, but whatever. Theodore initially has difficulty with relationships. He describes the one with his mother as self-centered on her part. He gets called creepy and told that he can't handle real emotions. Although he's very empathetic and can easily analyze others' emotions, he has a significant amount of trouble expressing and understanding his own, at one point saying, "All I do is hurt and confuse the people around me." He tells Samantha everything is fine, but is distant and angry. He feels unable to talk about the things that upset him. However, in the end, when Samantha leaves and all the lights are out, Theodore goes to the window and stares out of it. He smiles, and the audience gets the message that he feels free. He goes to his human friend, and they end up on the roof watching the sunrise, which provides a sense of openness, freedom, and hope. The lack of glasses is definitely symbolic, and it shows that there is no longer a barrier in his relationships, and he is finally able to express his emotion more freely and is generally more optimistic about life. So basically, in my personal opinion, this is ultimately a story of a very real relationship and how they both grow and evolve because of it.